Welcome to Bits and Pieces Quilting. Today I want to talk about everything I made in 2023, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Michelle, and as we wrap up 2023, I thought I'd do a little retrospective video and show you all the projects that I've made over the course of the year. So let's dive right in. The first project I want to share with you are these table runners. I call this the 3-course meal table runner, and I have a video on my YouTube channel as well as a free pattern for download on my website at www.bitsandpiecesquilting.com. I really encourage you to give this a try. It's super easy, super fun. It's based on a traditional O Susanna block, and I really love that you can customize this to fit your table. You can make it a 3-course meal like I've done. You can make it 2, you can make it 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever you need to fit your table. And there's a bonus project as well, so that every single one of your bits and pieces gets used if you give this a try. The next project is some tumbling blocks. I love this color palette. It is cozy and warm. I like to think of this as cottage and country. It's basically everything that's not a bright, and it is my favorite color palette. The tumbling blocks are based on a 5-inch template from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've made this pattern a number of times. It's one of my favorites, and it's not really even just a pattern. It's just the template all sewn together. Ton of fun. The next projects are Tim Tam pencil cases. I started making these a number of years ago, and oh my gosh, they're a big hit. And it's also fun to eat the cookies as well before turning the candy bags or the cookie packets into pencil cases. They're great for kids, they're great for adults. They can fool a business meeting when you think that there might be cookies on the table, but it turns out that it's just your pencil case. Ton of fun. I have a video on my channel on how to make the freckles bag. That's the last in this series of photos. It's the same approach to making the Tim Tam pencil cases. Quick, easy, a nice zippered pouch with a lining, and a ton of fun. Then I got started on an Elizabeth Hartman project. I have an upcoming video planned for the new year to talk about my obsession with Elizabeth Hartman patterns. They are so intricate and so beautiful, and actually a lot less intimidating than you might think that they would be. So this is the Oceans quilt, and it's not quilted yet, but I still wanted to include it in my 2023 finish category because it was a lot of work to get the quilt top done, and I'm just thrilled with the way it turned out. So it'll be one of the first things that I finish in 2024 with the machine quilting. I also have a video for these next projects. This is the Disappearing 9 patch. And the trick in this video for the Disappearing 9 patch is how I used up every single little bit and piece in order to get 2 complete quilts out of my fat quarter bundle. This came down to piecing the units in a couple of different ways, and then even making new fabric out of the offcuts to have enough to make these Disappearing 9 patch quilts. They're so oceany and fresh and a lot of fun. The next project was one I previewed in an upcoming projects video. This is the sports quilt. This is also a great pattern. I have a video for this on, it's called five Quilts, 1 Pattern. I love the way that this pattern with the stars gives you a chance to really highlight focal fabric, feature fabric. In this instance, I think the squares are 5 inches. I've made this pattern a number of times with 4.5-inch squares, even up to 6-inch squares if I really wanted to showcase the fabric. It's a great pattern, and I think the sports fans in my life will really enjoy these quilts. Then I have some Christmas scrappy ones. So first we have the Hills and Valleys Christmas Scrappy quilt. I was determined this year to use up my Christmas fabrics, and these Christmas scrappy quilts were the last of the Christmas fabrics to use those up. So the Hills and Valleys, love the illusion and the undulation of the hills and valleys across the quilt, and there's a YouTube video for this as well, and the links to all these videos will be in the description box down below. So please check those out if you think any of these are interesting to you. And then I have the Half Log Cabin Christmas quilt. This is a free pattern for download on my website, and there's the accompanying YouTube video as well. There are so many layouts for this block, and you'll see in the video that I played around with a couple of different layouts, but ultimately reverted to my standby stock standard favorite for these blocks. I love this project. I make this out of scraps all the time, and this Christmas one is extra charming. I was also thrilled to finish this cross-stitch project and turn it into a pillow. And as you can imagine, there's a video for that as well. This is a sentimental project. It was started by an aunt, my Aunt Barb, who passed away, and I wanted to finish it in honor as a tribute to her and turned it into a pillow for the living room. This next quilt is called Fly Away, and I have an upcoming video for it. So I'm not going to say too much right now, but stay tuned. This is actually inspired by a piece of wall art at the Sydney Airport in the domestics terminal. I took a photo of it and thought, I wonder if I could turn that into a quilt pattern. So this is called Fly Away, and it will be an upcoming video fairly early in 2024. I also turned my hand this year to some crochet. There was a point in the year where I just needed to keep my hands busy, and so I picked up a crochet hook and turned to YouTube, and a new passion was born. So I've made some of these little amigurumi creatures thanks to some incredible creators on YouTube. The fish, you can see there's a real nautical theme to some of the creations, but I've got a fish and a cat and some dinosaurs, and the latest obsession are these really cute succulents. So some more crochet in my future, I think. This next project is a really cute baby quilt out of some greens with a bit of a jungle cat themed print. I actually bought this fabric at Walmart, and if you saw my video of my field trip to Honolulu, Hawaii, that's where I picked up this fabric. So this is a chandelier style quilt. I'll have a pattern and a future video on my channel to make this, and I'll walk you through it step by step. And with the leftovers, because this is bits and pieces quilting after all, I used the final last pieces as well as some white fabric from my collection to make this last little scrappy baby quilt. And speaking of scrappy, this next project is just the ultimate scrap project. I have probably been saving these pieces for 3 or 4 years now. And back 3 or 4 years ago, I cut all the backing fabrics, or the background fabrics, so I knew it would all match and coordinate, and then saved up the pieces to make this half square triangles quilt. I love the offset kind of modern layout. I love the quilting in it. I love the chaos of all of the different half square triangles. And as you can imagine, or as you may have guessed, there is a video for this on my channel as well. I hope you'll check it out. It's a great way to use up every little piece in your collection and turn it into a beautiful and useful project. In 2023, I also finished the puzzle quilt. This is another video on the channel, and it shows you how to take some templates that are designed to be used with 10-inch squares and to use them and look at them a little bit differently. So that is worth checking out if you haven't seen that video. It's that same color palette of those warm, cozy colors that I love, and I just finished the binding on this a couple of days ago, so it goes into the finished column. This next quilt, this is an upcoming video, and I will talk to you a lot more about this project and the next one as part of a video series. This one I'm calling the Faux Cathedral windows, and I saw the technique to make these on Instagram, and my mind was blown. And then I went down a bit of a rabbit hole to make this quilt, and I think it's so gorgeous. It's time consuming and it's faux cathedral windows, but I think it's incredibly spectacular. It's not quilted yet. This is just the quilt top, so that will be an early 2024 project to complete. But the lessons I learned from the faux cathedral windows, I tried to translate into this one, which I'm calling the easy cathedral windows. This is also just a quilt top, so I've got a little bit more work to do, and I'm going to turn these into videos, so stay tuned for those. but I think that they're pretty spectacular and really, really interesting approaches to making cathedral windows. And finally, I have this quilt. It's called Falling into Green. I would have shown you the quilt top as part of a recently completed projects video, probably quite early in 2023, but I literally finished quilting this yesterday. So the binding isn't finished, but I'm thrilled with the way it's turned out. It's light and fresh and feels summery and spring, and I love the greens in it.
I hope you enjoyed this overview of my 2023 projects, and I hope you'll stick around for 2024. I think there's lots of great projects coming up, and I look forward to sharing them with you. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy making the most of your fabric bits and pieces.